analysis of threats and risk, what is the difference between both, and information IT, and what is the network security, and what are the policies of information security, how you can handle it, how you can work on the policies of the information security. First of all, we'll discuss about what is the internet and what is a network. If we'll talk about the network, if you're working in an organization, there are a number of systems and all systems are connected to the number of another systems. And those get connected with the network devices to create a kind of bunch of the systems is called the network. It is the largest network in the world that connects the hundreds of and thousands of individual networks all over the world, whether you are connecting via mobile phone, whether you are connecting with the desktop, whether you are connecting with the laptop. If it is connected with the network or a internet, it means you are a part of a network which is combined to all World Wide Web. Internet service providers are those providers who are giving you the IP address and a domain name system so that you can communicate with the other servers and other related domains which are present. For example, there are number of service providers are there. Microsoft Soft Network is there, AAT and Network in the America Online is also there. Those are the service providers which helps you everybody's to connect to the internet via other world. If we talk about what is a computer network, there are three major types of a computer network. These are LAN, MAN, and WAN. LAN is the smallest structure of the network that is called the local area network. Local area network means if you are working in an organization and you are connected within the organization, that is a LAN. One system is connected to the another system, and that system is connected to the another third system via a switch or any other network device, that is a LAN. And that switch is connected to the another organization's switch, that is called the MAN, that is a metropolitan area network. Like suppose in the image you can see that there's a school LAN, hospital LAN, factory LAN, and college LAN. These are the combination of the different small LANs. One organization is connected to the another organization, bunch of another organizations, that is called the MAN, and the combination of MAN, or you can say combination of biggest LAN, is a WAN, wide area network. We are connected, if we connected to the internet, that is called the wide area network. We can communicate with one person to another person via our organization to another organization. These are the types of the computer network: LAN, MAN, and WAN. So how internet is work, how we send a request, how it can be encrypted and it get to send to the another system, and how we'll get the response. Like suppose there are two systems, one is on the left side and one is on the other right side. You can see there are number of devices are connected, and all devices are connected to the internet. Whenever you get an internet connection, you will get an IP address from a ISP. ISP is called as an internet service provider. He will give you the uh, IP address that can be connected or that can be recognizable in your network, that a machine which having a MAC address. MAC address is a permanent address which is bind to that your system, whether it is of a network system, whether it is of your mobile system. If it is having a internet, it is always have a IP address, and you also have a domain name. Domain name, DNS, is that service. Whenever you send a request, like suppose you are sending a request of a yahoo.com, then it will request goes to first to a DNS server. Then it will get a IP address for that particular domain. Suppose you are accessing yahoo.com, the request will go to the DNS server, and DNS server will provide you the IP address of that yahoo.com, and then that particular IP address will go to that particular server. It means the DNS server is working as a resolver. That is a resolver of a IP address to the name system and name to the IP address. What is the benefit of that DNS server? DNS server is like our phone directory in our mobile phones. We cannot memorize all the phone numbers which are in our mobile phone. But we can remember the names of that phone numbers that I have saved my name, saved a mobile number with a particular name. I can memorize the name, but not the mobile numbers, all of them. So similarly, the DNS server is having the IP address with a particular name. Whenever you search for the name, it will give you the IP address of that. So from one computer, it will go to the modem and it will be digital signal that will connect it to the modem, and modem send a request to the ISP, and ISP give connected to the another WAN. That cloud is called as the internet because everything is connected to via wide area network. What is the difference between internet and intranet? Both are the terms which is of the network. Internet, if you are connecting a public network to another public network, it means your system is recognized by other organization and you can access that system from anywhere which is connected to the network. In other words, if you want to access your system from home, if it is connected to the internet, you can access that. And intranet is that within the organization. It is kind of a LAN, but that LAN is not connected to another LAN. There's a difference between the IP address of internet and intranet. If you have a system having the IP address of a public IP address, that can be manageable from anywhere from the world. If your system have a private network means a C-class private network. I'm giving you example of a C-class private network is 192.168.0.0 something. So it means your system is having a private network that cannot be accessed from outside if it is a intranet. Everything in the network is based on the protocols, and that protocols are based on the models. One model is a TCP/IP model, how the network, how the data is flow from bottom to up and up to bottom. How you send a request, how it is get communicated, how it can be distracted in the frames and the segments, how the packets are flows, that is under the model. That are the virtual things. Like there's a TCP/IP model, that is transmission control protocol is there, that breaks data into the packets before sending. Whenever you create a packet, whenever you create a request, like suppose you are open the browser and create a request for the yahoo.com. So first connection is from your physical connectivity. Let me show you the diagram that will be more helpful for you. See here, here you can see that there are the different layers. One is the application, transport, network, and a physical layer is there. That is a link. Every system, whether if you are connected with a network, it is connected to a network LAN cable, or it can be a medium, that is a Wi-Fi medium. So whenever you connect with the medium, that device or that particular network device will get an IP address. With that IP address, you create a packet if you are sending a request from request to another server. Like suppose I'm sending a request to yahoo.com. So what I'll do, I'll create a request in the browser. The browser will get the data, and with my MAC address binding, both IP address and MAC address binding will get the packet and send request flow to the network. Then after it go to the transport layer, and the top level is the application layer. Application layer, you can say that that browser will help you to send a request, and request flow to the transport layer, after that to the network layer, and after that to the link with a physical link or a Wi-Fi link, that data flows to the another level. In this diagram, here in this diagram, if we talk about on the left side of the structure, the data is transmitted from the physical layer, and sorry, data is transmitted from started from the application layer, transferred via the physical layer, that is a LAN or a Wi-Fi. Then it goes to again to the LAN to the that computer to the application layer. That is a flow of a network, how the data is flowing from a link to the application layer and from the application layer to the physical layer. There are number of protocols and number of services are running while you are sending a data from one layer to another layer.
Yeah, David sir, we are not able to hear you.
Yes, I'm here. I'm here. Slide is visible now?
Yeah, slide is visible. Yeah, now it is moving also, sir.
Okay,
Moving.
okay.
Moving. Yeah,
So we'll
good.
talk about the IP addresses. IP addresses of a like there you have if you are connected to the network, you will get a IP address. Whether it is of a IPv6, it means IP version 4 or IPv version 6. There are two types of IP addresses, and this is a if you are working with the IPv4, it is a 32-bit IP address, and octet is of uh, 8.8.8.8. Like suppose it is a public IP address and you are connected with the public DNS server. The computers can be statically or dynamically configured, that is the DHCP. Whether you are connected to the ISP, it can be provide you a manual IP or that IP can be provided by your ISP. That is called the Dynamic Host Control Protocol. That is a server which helps you to communicate and get an IP address from the ISP. And it is also possible that in the organization, they are running a DHCP server. The DHCP server will help you to give the IP address, gateway, and the DNS to each and every machine when it is connected to the DHCP server in the organization. Subnet mask identifies computer's location on network like 255.255.255.255. It helps you to get the IP address of which class. It let you know that the IP address you are running on your machine, that is of which class. If you want to check the IP address of your machine, that is a simple command for your executing. Uh, just execute the CMD. Let me share your screen also. I think this is visible now. Okay. If you
Yes,
want to check,
visible, David ji.
okay. If you want to check the IP address of your machine, that just execute the command that ipconfig. It will let you know that IP address, subnet mask, and the default gateway. These are the three terms, three values. You can say that which is provided by the DHCP server. So you can communicate with the other machines, and your machine is recognized in the network also. Here, it is the IP address is IPv4 address. You can see that this is IPv4 address. And on the above, you can find that this is IPv6 address. This is a 128-bit address and this is a 32-bit address. Okay, subnet mask will let you know that you are working with the A class, B class, C class, or D class. Here in the presentation, as you can see that there is a written as subnet mask 255.255.255.0. It means you are working in a class C. There are different classes for the IP addresses. Class A, Class B, Class C, Class D, and Class E. D and E are both are fixed for some R&D purposes, and we are using the A and B and C class. This is IPv6. As we know that the 32-bit is IP addresses of IPv4, and there are only 4 billions of the IP addresses available. But we are now switching on the 30, that is IPv6, that is a 128-bit address. So the extension of our IP address is much more than the IPv4. If we are, if we can run IPv6 in our organization, then we can allocate each and every machine a public IP, and that machine can be accessed via internet, via network from anywhere. Right now, we cannot access our office machine from the my home. We need a VPN, that is virtual private network, we'll discuss it about later. But if you are working with the IPv6, you can directly communicate your machine from anywhere from the world. This is an example we have already discussed about it. So, so how the protocols are working? Whenever you send a request, like suppose you are sending, I'm taking example of a common domain that is yahoo.com. If you find that you just write yahoo.com and automatically the protocol is added in the front of that whenever you send a request in a browser, like HTTP or HTTPS. HTTP is a hypertext transfer protocol that will helps you to communicate via a port number that is 80. What happens when you send a request to a server? A server should be accepted that port 80 request. It means that service or that port is open on that server. That machine, you can, server is a simple machine that can accept and holds the request of a client. Suppose I want to check, I want to create my machine as a server. So what I need? I need that it can listen to port number 80. That is a port for the HTTP server. HTTP is a, you can say that if you are running a web server on your machine, that means it can accept or it can listen to the port 80. So whenever the request will get by the port 80, it will communicate via the HTTP protocol. And if you are working with the HTTPS, it means that protocol is secure, and now that service will work on the 443 protocol. Earlier, HTTP is running on the 80, but we are these days we are not working with the HTTP because it is not a secure protocol. How it is not secure? Because whenever we transfer a data via HTTP, a man in the middle attack can happen, and anyone can read the data and anyone can modify the data in between. So whenever you do the online banking or anything of the transactions, just keep in your mind that you are using the website which is having the HTTPS. Let me show you how it is look like that. If I open the browser, browser is open. See, just I'm writing yahoo.com. Suppose, see here it is written HTTPS. It means it is creating a secure connection. If we are working with the banking websites or any kind of transactional websites, it will work with the HTTPS. And here you can see a lock. It means it is a secure connection. Whenever you transaction something, it means it is going via the a secure channel. Man in the middle attack cannot be happen. Let me open a website of a suppose HDFC Bank. We open that. See, here it is also the HTTPS. Means these are websites are secure. Okay. What is the structure of a URL? What is a URL? URL is that, right, like we are using a yahoo.com. Yahoo.com, we example, yeah, as we see here, that is a yahoo.com. This is the whole thing is called the URL. And if we bifurcate it, it means HTTP or HTTPS is a protocol, that is a service we are using or we are sending a request from via the HTTP or HTTPS. That is the domain name. ChicagoSymphony.org is the domain name. Chicago Symphony is a name, and .org is a domain. You can say that. Here in yahoo.com, here it is written that .in.search.yahoo.com. .in uh, means that it is an Indian website, Indian domain. It is of an Indian channel. Sometimes you are there are some domains that is named as a .org. That means it's an organization. If website is a .ac, that's the academics. And if there is a name as a ac.in, it means it is the Indian academics website. Name can be any XYZ. Okay. The difference between the .com, .in, .org, that will let you know that it is whether it's an organization name and whether it's a country domain. If it is a .com, it means it is a US standard domain. If it is IN, it means it is a Indian. It's a FR, it means France. CZ is a Czechoslovakia. So there are different names. After that, there's a slash, that is a forward slash. It means it will, the data is transferred or data is in another folder in the forward address, right? As a civic concerts is a path or a folder which is contained in the Chicago Symphony.org website. And index.html is a file which you are sending a request to get from the server. This is the same with the HTTP protocol. What are the when you are sending a URL from the browser, it will get a request message, and after that, a server maps the URL to the file or a program under the directory. Like suppose you are looking for a particular file, then that server will go to that particular file address, and after that, you will get a message of a HTTP 1.1. That means your file is present there at the server, and you will get the respond, and you will get a display on your browser where you send a request. The request is started from the browser and it displays on the browser only. Whenever you start send a request, from where you send a request, it will get ends the request that on the screen. If you are sending from the terminal, that is a command line, then you will get the answer on the command line. This is the uses of the HTTP and the HTTPS. Both are, HTTPS is a secure version. Nowadays, we are using only the HTTPS versions. The HTTPS is a secure version. That is, the data is encrypted. Let me show you how you can check that the data is encrypted. As I show you, there is a lock here. Just click on the lock. You will find that there is a secure connection. Connection secure. Just click on that. You will find that you are securely connected to this site that is verified by. Just click on the more information, and you can see the certificate also. That certificate means this is a verified website and connection is secured by some external body, that if you are communicating via website, that connection is secure. Sometimes it also happen, you open a website, this name is written as HTTP, working on the HTTP, but the log, that log is crossed. That means that organization is using their own certificate. They're not recognized via any certificate authority. They are using their own certificate. Connection is secure, but not recognized by any certificate authority. So this is the internet communication, how internet communication is done. First of all, company website, I'm taking an example only. Company website visitor goes to the send a request to the web server via internet, then get the request from the web server, and web server go to the web application server and the database server, and then request get from the database server to the web application server, and web application server to the web server, and then displays to the client machine. If I gives you a raw idea how it's happened, like suppose you are going your banking website, they who open the website, then you click on the login button. They asking for the username, the password, and the username, the password is stored in that database server of that banking website. They having the details of that user, what is the account name, how much money is that there in that account, what is the PAN number, whether the user is existed or not, you are using a right username and the password, everything is stored here. And after that, after the authentication is done, it's go back to the web application server where the application is running and which is displayed on the client machine. What is the data and what is the information? Data is the raw forms. When it is processed, it gives you the information. Like suppose you are sending a raw data 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and you are processing that data and create a UID, suppose unique identification number, then it will be called as the information. There are account numbers of a bank account of a 16 digits, suppose, right? So if I write a series of a 16 numbers, it is a raw data. If it is assigned by a bank account or bank person, that means this is the information of a particular account number. Like suppose your PAN number, that is a unique ID. Otherwise, these are all the alphabets and numeric numbers. Okay, when it is processed somewhere, that is called the information. That is a particular means. How the web application work? First of all, if it is a, you can say that this is a broad structure of a network with the devices from the client to the end of the server, how you get the information. A user send a request, like suppose you are sitting in an organization and you are opening a website, any website, kind of any website, which is working with a database or working with application, working with a web application or mobile application, any web application you are working. So So whenever you open the website, you just click on a web browser and open a website. Here it says taking example of a shopping cart. So open the Amazon.com or Amazon.in. The request go to the first to the router. That router which is located in the organization. Then it will check by the firewall whether the connection is a secure connection or whether the connection is acceptable or not. If firewall is not accepting that connection of that particular website or a particular shopping cart, then firewall will not allow to open that page and a default firewall page will be displayed on your browser. After firewall, there is a switch which is connected to the another. It can be possible to the another connected to the another firewall or another router where the domains where the server are placed, because server are not in the same areas. Server are located somewhere else, but they are connected to the internet via the routers, via the firewalls, via the WAF. There are a number of devices which are in between the network. So after that switch, there is a web server. Where suppose there is a web server, and after that there is a web application server, and at the end there's a database server. Whenever they get a request, like suppose a web application server is get a request, it will check and get the data from the database server, whether a user is existed, if the user is existed, how much authenticate, how much authorization level it has. Like suppose you have a server room in the organization, there are 100 people in the organization, but only two persons can authorize to get in the server room. So from where it gets the information? It will get the information from the database where it will be stored that only that person can be enter into the server room. Others are not recognized. That means there is some database is written there. Some value is there. If the value is there, means their data is stored, which is running under the queries. Database can be Oracle database server can be there, MySQL, SQL, Elasticsearch can be there. There are a number of databases are available in the market. And above on the above of the database server, there is a web application which send the request to the database server to checking whether the user is authenticate or not. How an attacker attacks. For that, I'll show you another thing. How attacker attacks. See, this is a normal flow. We are sending a request from one person to another person. Both are happy because one is a sender, another is a receiver, and after that somehow interruption is there. Means one person is sending a data, but data is not received by the another person. That means there is some interruption. It can be a network interruption. It can be another attack. Can be possible. After that, there can be modification. Modification done is by the hacker. It made some changes, but the data is sending, it get the data from the sender and made some changes and sent to the another receiver. And whenever it is sending a data, it is interruption is done and sent to the another user. Interruption is done, sent to the another user. Then there's a fabrication and reputation. See, whenever it is interruption, it can be possible that is a availability factor. Like suppose we are using a website. We are like suppose there is a result is out of a 10th class or 12th class. What happened? Everybody is checking the result. What is the result of the 10th? What is the 10th result? So there are number of requesting to the server. Whenever there are lots of requests sent to the server, it can be possible that server can be choked because they cannot handle the lots of requests at a single time. So this is called the availability factor. There are three factors of the information security: confidentiality, integrity, and the availability. Availability is a one of them. Next is the integrity. Integrity means the data which is sent by a sender and receive which is not modified means the data is integral. So we need to maintain the integrity also. Confidentiality. The data cannot be disclosed to another one. If I'm having a data of my organization, it is my responsibility. I will not disclose to anyone. That is a confidential part. It can make the loss of a goodwill of my organization as well as the monetary loss to my organization also. Next is authenticity. The user who is using that data, whether it is authentic or not, we need to check it out. What level of authorization it has. These are the main three factors of your information security, that is confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Every security, whether you are talking about the physical security, whether you are talking about the network security, whether you are talking about the information, web application security, these three factors are the main paradigms of the security. The data should be confidential. It means it is encrypted form while sending from one place to another. Integrity, data should not be modified while sending from one place to another place. As it is, the data is received from the sender. Confidentiality, integrity, and last is availability. The data should be available 24/7. Whenever I send a request, I'll get the information that that data is available. Means, like I'm taking example of a banking website again. If you are working on a transaction and the transaction hours are only 9 to 5, it means after 5 you cannot do any transaction. It means that data is not available. Database is not available. You cannot transact anything. So that will not work. Integrity, you are you are withdrawing the amount, like suppose 10,000 from the ATM, and in the database you get the entry that 15,000 amount is debited. What that mean? That means the data is modification in between. That should not done. And confidentiality, if I create a connection, that should be encrypted, and authenticity, that done by a particular dedicated user which is available and which is a true user. If you have a query, you can type the query, so we can take the queries also. This is the success of our websites. Earlier, we are using the basic connectivity, then it is upgraded to the 2.0. Right now, we are working with the IoT devices. Everybody knows that the internet devices which are connected to our home also. Alexa is one of them. IoT is a device which is very helpful. We are using the voice commands to work with our devices. Evaluation of technology, usage and value, relation of security problems and solutions. Evolutions never stops. It keeps on changing. Right now, we are working with another TLS and SSL services. So these are more secure. Earlier, we are working with the IPv4. Now we are working with the IPv6 versions. So it works on the keep on implementing the new things. This is a bigger picture of the cybersecurity network and information security. Everyone is working with the information security and working with the information. Data is shared, but while sharing our data, we don't know that our data is secure or not. While we're posting our pictures on the internet or anything else, you must be sure that who is watching you, who is the friend of you, how you are sharing the data. First, check it out, profiles and all the things, then share your data. Cybersecurity means that is you are protecting the data and the information network. It uses the technology and the securing the IT and ICT products. Cyber safety means protecting users from the harmful online content. Fundamentally, it focuses on people. Like suppose you are connected with the technology. Everybody is connected with the smartphone, and that smartphone is connected with your network. Everybody know to each other. Sometimes it's also happen we get the phishing mails that you won a lottery, you won something of a amount of $10,000 or something, and in hurry we just click on the link. What happened? We are sharing our data. We share our data accidentally or intentionally also. See, whenever you are uh, roaming around in the malls, there's some random person is come, just sir fill the form and you will get something surprise from our company. You just fill the form, just write your true details. What will get them? What they get from you? Your name, your address, your phone number, your email ID. And after that, you will get the spam mails. You will get something, just click on this, just click on this. Right. Whenever you share your details, please aware of that, what kind of details you need and why the person is needing your details only. They give you nothing. You will never get nominated for anything. Right? So whenever you share anything, you just know that where you are sharing your data and what kind of data you are sharing on the internet also. I'm not talking about these malls and all the things. Okay, whenever you online, you must know that where you are sharing your data, your name, your address. Sharing your password is not harmful, but sharing your email is very harmful. Because if I share my password, you never know that what kind of password this, whether it's a transactional password, whether it's of my Google account password or my HDFC bank account password, nobody knows that. If you are sharing your email ID, it means you are sharing your main domain IP, main domain name. That means you are sharing your details. There's some websites you are downloading the tools or you are downloading the software. They need your email ID. With your email ID, I'm downloading that software also. Okay, next is authentication and authorization. That is working on the access controls, authentication, authorization. How access control is that ACL, that is called the ACL, access control list. That is kind of a guard, a security guard, physical guard, which is standing outside our organization or the server room or any other secure places. So they will ask you your name, whether you are going authorized to go to inside or not. The authentication is that reliably identify the user, whether you are authenticate or not. Authorization means how much authority to do inside that server room. I'm giving an example. Whether you can see the devices or you can operate the devices also. Do you have the passwords of that or not? Okay, these are the levels of the authorization authentications. Securing yourself, that is the awareness, what information you have, how important is this, how secure it is. Assesses what could happen if it lost in the wrong hands. What happen if you lost your ID card? Any ID card like Aadhaar card or a PAN card or anything. It can be something you can might struck in some problem. There's some mishappen is there, and the police or any person will find your ID card that is already stolen or already kept by anyone. That means you will struck. You will get something that you are not responsible for that. Adequate precautions to protect that, how you can protect it, how you can protect your data. Everybody is having the Aadhaar card, but nobody is know that how you can mask your Aadhaar card. The term is masking your Aadhaar card is a new one. You can mask your Aadhaar cards on the websites, also on the UID websites. Securing yourself, you know about the everything, but you are neglecting the things. That is a common sense awareness should be there. How you can using it, how you are using it regularly, updates your operating systems, your mobile phones, yourself also. Antivirus and anti-spyware must be installed on your machines. Be careful to peer-to-peer phishing. What to download, how to download, from where to download. Never click next on installing the web on any tool. Whenever you install a tool, just read out the terms and conditions. That is called the EULA, End Users License Agreement. Not just click on the agree or next. There are some tools that is capture your data. You know that they are installing it. Like suppose Opera browser is installing with the AVG antivirus. You installed it. You never use it, but you don't know that they are also a backdoors. Okay, never install the third-party tools from a third-party websites. Keep your passwords to yourself. Never share your passwords to anybody. Don't try to open every attachment. For attachment, I'll give you another thing. There's a website is called Virus Total. Whenever you got a attachment, just download it. Before opening it, just scan here. Scan here if you don't have the antivirus, or if you're having an antivirus, you can scan here. The file can be scanned here. Just upload the file and you will get the result that file is secure or not. If you having a phishing URL, just paste the URL. It will let you know that URL is a fake or URL is a original one. Okay, let me show you the example. Just I'm copying the HDFC Bank and here I'm pasting it and just press the enter. It shows that is a fully secured, no security vendors flagged the URL is a malicious. If it is a malicious URL, you will get the flag that this is malicious. Don't open it. See, there are more than 32 antiviruses. They will scan with that and they give you the report of that. So these are the other tools, other devices which are helps you to secure your network. That is a firewall is also there, SIM is also there, DLP is also there, UBLs. These are devices, also appliances you can install in your organization to secure your network, and you can work with the security. So this is the end of my session. So if you have any queries, you can paste here, or you can mail me at david@cdac.in.
Thank you, Davidji, for your wonderful and excellent session. I think it was nicely explained.
For
So,
sure,
sir,
we'll share the PPTs also. Sir, Jagdish sir will share your PPTs.
yeah, sir, you send it to me. I will share it with all
Yeah,
these.
sure. I'll show.
I will just WhatsApp me, sir. Yeah.
All right.
Sir,
Thank
like,
you.
ma'am, sir, if you have any questions, kindly keep it in the chat area so that we will take few questions before we move on to the next session. so that we can ask sir like if there are any question. Yeah, yeah. Okay, sir is already offered, na sir. Like he will share his PPT. No problem. We will share the PPT with all of you. Any other questions related to the session or any doubts? Now the awareness point of work. How the wireless access point will work. Okay, sir. How the wireless point will work in a portal environment.
Sorry, I'm not getting the question. How the wireless access point will work in the portal environment?
In the portal environment.
Actually, it can be possible. Na? There is some another access point is planted in the organization to accessing where the LAN is not possible. So that is why the wireless access point is there.
Okay, sir. Okay, that's great. That's great. Is Windows Defender is enough to secure our data and files in the office?
Where it is the question? I don't getting the question.
Okay, you might not be able to see, sir. Like in the chart area, those questions are there.
Okay. Just ask the question, please.
Is Windows Defender is enough to secure your data?
Yes. If you're using the original Windows, that is enough for that. You're securing the all the from the viruses and the worms.
Okay, yeah. I think like once again, which is related to that wireless thing only, sir. Access through switch to wireless access point and then to web server.
It is a difficult. Is it difficult? Yes, it is difficult because some of the devices not are working with the right now is IPv6.
6,
We are
yes.
working with the earlier that uh, NIC devices that are not work with the IPv6. That is why it is not possible to switch to the every user to the again to the IPv6. And some websites are not right now is upgradable to IPv6. So that is why it is not easy task.
Okay.
Everything is work. Everyone is working on that. So IPv6 that Yahoo.com is already shifted to the IPv6. Google is also already shifted to the IPv6. They are slowly and steady. They are working with the IPv6 already.
Okay, sir. Why SIM at location, one for banking? SIM at
SI,
location for one for banking kind of thing.
uh, read the full question, please.
Why
Huh?
SIM at
Huh?
location, one for banking?
Sir, same is beneficial because if event is fired from from anything, you will get the notification that there is a event is happened. If you don't have the same in the or banking organization, you will not get that there is a some mishappen is there, some attack is there, some event is happened there. So there is a same is or because wherever all the databases are there, where all the WAF applications are there, where there they will get the logs. So from the logs, they will get the event what event is happened. So that is a beneficial for implementing the SIM profiles in the banking areas. Virus total to website to scan, exit security after government object.
Sir, is it secure to
See
upload government
if
official files in
see
various total
if
websites?
the web if you are getting the uh, official file from your official email IDs, then no need to scan. It will be scanned only via your Microsoft Defenders and all the things that is installed on your machine. Whether if you are getting a phishing, I am talking about only that files which are you can say that that is a phishing file or that is a phishing URLs. They need to scan on the virus total.
Correct. So while browsing the SBI online banking, it is
Mhm.
not showing HTTPS. What to do?
Don't open that website. Just close that website
True.
because HTTP is mandatory for every transactional websites or banking websites. It's never happened that that SBI is planning to working on the HTTP protocol only. That means what must be a phishing website or that be fake one.
What is the URL scanner you told about, sir?
virustotal.com.
Okay, right. All right, David sir, thank you so
Okay,
much
okay.
for
Thank you,
your
sir. Thank you so
valuable
much.
time
Thank you so much,
as
sir.
well as the session. We'll see you, in next session.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you
you
so
so
much,
much.
sir.
Thank you so much.
So, Sarmang, like we are moving to the next session. As I told you, yeah, if you have any questions, you can keep it in the chat area. So we'll take it up. So the next session, we don't have a speaker, so I myself handling the next session. Don't worry. Okay, great session. Right. Thank you so much, sir. So we'll move on to the next session. Let's see. So the next session, we are going to talk about like what is the data and how do we protect, and importantly like password we are going to talk about, and mobile aspects also. Is there any alternative to access online banking, please? Sir, Vasudevara sir, actually, you can log on to any website. For example, SBI onlinesbi.com. That is their website, onlinesbi.com. If at all if you are doing any online transaction, I will talk about those aspects in my coming sessions. Don't worry, right? We will address those. We will address those issues. How to digital signing certificate. How digital signing certificate Singer tools works on web and why different parts used within it. How digital signature tools work on web and why different parts. Sir, digital signature you might be knowing, like normally the digital signature, there will be some kind of hardware dongle where you have to install that hardware dongle, then it will detect and it will authenticate you whether the right person is accessing or not. So that's the use of the digital signature. So the digital signature is different from person to person. If the digital signature is remains same, the same one will be used by everyone and they will access. So the digital signature is completely different from each other, and we'll have a different digital signature for every individual like who are taking. And digital signatures is also allocated to only some of the government officials, not everyone. So there is a process to get the digital signature. So once the process is fulfilled, then only the digital signature is given it to the people, at least in the government organizations where like CDAC is supporting for the digital signature activity, right? So keep those questions. We will see like after the end of the session. So in this particular session, I'm going to talk about, of course, like Davidji has already spoken some of the aspects related to the data. And we talk about the password, mobile app security, browser security, some of the other aspects also I'm going to discuss. Okay, I myself Jagdish Babu, I'm the project manager here from ISEA CDEC Hyderabad. All right, let's move on to the session. What is cyber security? In the earlier session it was told to you very clearly. So the cyber security is a set of techniques used to protect and integrity of the networks and the programs and the data from attack or a damage or unauthorized access. Like whatever the data you are having, whether it could be data, what do you mean by data? So we'll discuss. Data as example, data is nothing but your name, your email address, your mobile name, your credit card number, debit card number. All those are comes under the data, a category of data only. That data has to be secured by maintaining various steps. So in the information security, these are the three aspects: the confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Confidentiality in the sense when you are sending a message, no one should see. Like for example, you sent a message saying hi. If the person has received hello, right? There is a change in the message, right? Hi went to as a hello. So someone has changed this hi into hello. So there is no confidentiality in the information. So someone is viewing, someone is verifying, someone is doing. So that confidentiality is very important in the field of information security. So the information security will ensure, which will ensure you the ensures the confidentiality of the data, right? And integrity, and no one is authorized to see. Like for example, I sent a mail to Satyanarayana garu. Like if I sent a mail to Satyanarayana ji, like only Satyanarayana sir only can see. No other, for example, was there also cannot see the data. He is not supposed to see the data. So that integrity should be maintained, and availability. So whenever I want the data, For example, you have some thousands of GB of data, right? But I wanted at this point of time, like how many people have participated in the 12th batch, right? So this is a 40th batch. So 12th batch, like we have done 40th batches and we have covered number of people. So I wanted a data. I wanted a data like who are all participated on the batch number 12. So the moment I asked the moment I asked the query to the computer is supposed to provide the data, right? If that data is there, then only that data is available with me, I can make use of it. So this information will security, if you follow these information security, this is called a CIA triad. If the CIA triad is there, then we can secure your data, and we also can secure your data and make it available whenever you want, right? So that is what it is important nowadays. Like money is not an issue, like everyone and anyone is earning the money, but data is a new oil in this new economy, in the cyber area, in the cyber space. The new economy is only the data. New economy is only the data. If the data is available, you and me can do anything and everything, right? So that much of importance is there for the data in the information security domain, right? So the cyber crime, what do you mean by cyber crime? These are the terminologies you might be using. So that cyber crime, is a criminal activity that either targets or uses a computer. For example, I was trying to get the information from you. See, for example, I wanted to get your information, like your username and password. So if I'm able to succeed in terms of getting that password, so by using various tools and techniques, then it is called a cybercrime, right? Without your knowledge. So without your knowledge, if I'm taking any information without your knowledge, or stolen that information without your knowledge, and that comes under the cybercrime. So that cybercrime is defined as, like, when we are using internet, any of the electronic gadgets, anything, all these things, if at all, if you are using all these tools to get the data, then it is called as a cybercrime. Okay, so the major attack vector of the cybercrime is to exploit the broken software. Broken software is nothing but, in the software, if there are any vulnerabilities, that means vulnerabilities are nothing but weak points. For example, nowadays we are facing an issue with the COVID. How the COVID is attacking an individual? If they are not immune, if their immune system is very bad, then it is attacking. If the immune system is not good, then it will attack any part. Then it may lead to various side effects kind of thing. In the same way, if there is any vulnerability in any software, for example, you are all using a mobile phone, right? Now we are in the year of 2022. If at all, if you are using a mobile phone which is purchased 10 years back, that is a vulnerable mobile phone. If you are not getting any updates continuously for 6 to 1 year, then that is a become an absolute. Then that is a become an absolute, right? Why Windows is, for example, why Windows is, giving number of versions, Windows XP, 2003 and 2007, 2010, 2011. Why they are releasing? So, like, whatever the issues they are finding, all those issues they're rectifying it, and they're giving the new releases. And Android also, you are listening the same thing. Android 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now Android 11 is there. If at all, if you are using the Android 7, and if you are not getting any updates, then there are chances that system can be, that system can be a target. That system can be a target. People can use that loopholes, that weaknesses, and try to enter into the system. Like, if your body is not immune, and if you have a less immunity power, then these COVID, whatever the COVID things are there, it will be getting injected into your body, and people will get fever and whatever it is, all those things. And the same thing is applicable in the software scenario also. Vulnerability is nothing but gap or weakness that hacker could exploit. And for example, whoever wanted to steal your data, those people will use these weaknesses and gap points to get into to get into the system. That is called a vulnerability. A threat, an incident with the potential to harm the system. If it is a vulnerable, then there are chances that it may lead to a threat. If the system is vulnerable, and it may lead to a threat. So with a potential to harm the system will be attacked, and they may do any of these activities. Risk: the potential of damage when the threat exploits to a vulnerability. Right? If these threat and vulnerabilities are found, if the software is not updated, we are just giving an example. I'm just giving an example. If the software has some weaknesses and it become lead, and the software, the device may be compromised. That is a risk. That once the device is compromised, then it is risk to the organization and risk to the individual also. Right? These are the terminologies which we frequently use or listen in the information security domain. Okay. So when we are using some of the mobile applications, like online taxi mobile application, education application, banking application, shopping application, job portals and all. So when you are installing these kind of application, what will happen? What are the permissions it will ask you? For example, you are downloading a mobile application. You have installed that mobile application on your mobile device. What are the kind of permission it will ask? Can you please type in the chat area, sir, ma'am? Can you please type in the chat area? What all kind of permissions it will ask? What kind of permissions it will ask? Okay, phone, contacts, very good. Location, excellent. What else? Access to contacts, gallery, very good. Camera, very good. Images, very good. Access phone contacts, yes, excellent. Access to your contact details, camera storage, location, very good, very good. Thank you. So whenever you are installing any mobile application, it will ask you all these permissions. It will ask your camera, it will ask your microphone, it will ask your storage, it will, importantly, we are all forgot that it also asks the reading of SMSs. It also asks the reading of the SMSs. Like what are the SMSs you are getting? They wanted to read your SMSs, right? So that many issues are there. See, for example, by chance our phone is compromised, and if someone got permission of reading these SMSs, like whatever the OTPs you are getting, so those people also will be able to see your OTPs, right? So that is the kind of dangers or threats involved on our devices when we are sharing the complete permissions, right? What does Google track you? So Google will track you what kind of browsing you are doing, what kind of videos you are watching, where all you went, what kind of photos you have taken, and where all those things. When is your birthday, your family member's birthday, what kind of search you are doing, what kind of emails you are getting, shopping related aspects, like whenever you are searching anything related to shopping, and ads, advertisements, and the news, right? So is Google is tracking you all these things? Is Google is tracking you all these things or not? Please say yes or no in the chat area. Okay, so everyone is telling yes, 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 yes. Then what to do? What to do then? Right? They're tracking all those things. Then what to do? Right? So Google is tracking, and they also, they know like where you went, like which location you went, and all the things. So to stop all those things, they have given some kind of, not only Google, all the people, like whichever the application you are downloading or using, everyone is tracking like what you are doing, where you are spending, where you are going. All those things are tracked by many of these applications and many of these softwares, like these things. Unless and until if you keep a proper settings, there is always a danger involved in it. There is always a danger involved in it. So you have to follow all the settings properly to safeguard your privacy in the digital world. Otherwise, if all this information goes out of your hand, then what is your privacy? So now I can tell you, like for example, Omkarji is there. So I can tell like whether he's sitting and listening, or he left the system and he is attending, he is just opened and he's doing his work kind of thing. So those things I can easily track. See, for example, like what are the software you are using right now, the WebEx, I can find out how many are actively listening and how many are not at all listening, right? There are some people who will open it and they will do their work. I can track it out. I can find out like what was the retention level and what was their attentiveness, whether they are listening or not. For example, you may be there all 4.5 hours, but you have not listened to full conversation. You have listened only 10-15 minutes of the entire 2.5 hour session or entire 4.5 hour session, right? So such kind of tracking happens, right? But we are not tracking that because we don't want we don't want your privacy to affect. All right. So these people are collecting this information without your knowledge. So then, unless and until you follow good cyber hygiene practices in terms of disabling those permissions, there is always a chances that people can see like what you are doing, right? So these are all called digital footprint. When you are on internet, whether you do any activity or not, your activity is recorded. So and so person is logged in at this point of time, logged out at this point of time. If at all, if you are doing any searching, reading, watching, all those things are also captured. That is one way. And other way is like whether like other way, you are also giving some kind of information. We are also giving some kind of information to the internet. So we will see like what is that kind of thing. The information that is exist online about you and your activity, right? As I told you, like who are you, from where are you, what are you doing, what are you doing on this internet, whether you are watching or reading something. So all these things can be reported, all these things can be recorded. So hence you have to be very careful about what you are sharing, with whom you are sharing, and where are you sharing. Are you sharing only within your known people? Are you sharing with everyone? Right? Let me. Can you please tell me, like you have written something in internet, and after some time you delete it. Will it be deleted totally from the internet, or will it be there in somewhere in the internet? Say yes or no. No. Right. So people are telling like it will be deleted. Will it be deleted or not? Okay. Someone said like Manam Kumar Pandey said like it will remain. No, okay, okay, not deleted, not deleted. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Sir, ma'am, thank you for your active participation. Right, if you have written something, if you have published something, after some time you realized you want to get delete. Okay, you can delete physically, but it will be recorded somewhere. It will be recorded somewhere. It may not be in your browser, it may not be in your device, but somewhere in the internet, somewhere in one of the internet server, it will be recorded. That is the reason you have to be very, very careful. So this kind of the digital footprint of users are massive, because the number of internet users are gone up. Internet, users, device and internet both are gone up like anything. So the digital footprinting is very, very important. So the digital footprinting is happens in two way. One is the passive digital footprint, and another is the digital active digital footprint. Passive digital footprint without your knowledge. For example, you are not done anything, you just browsing something, but I can find out like what you are doing, what is your IP address, where is it located. It cannot be deleted, sir. It cannot be deleted. Digital footprints never be deleted, okay, unless and until you follow some privacy and security aspects in your browser level, right? So in the active digital footprint and passive digital footprint. Passive digital footprint means without your knowledge. For example, you have an internet connectivity. So in that internet connectivity, I know all this information I can find out. What is your IP address? Who is providing the internet to you, and what is your IP address, and which location it is located? All that information. Without your knowledge, some information can be viewed. Some information is already available with respect to you, right? And another is digital footprinting, active digital footprinting. So that means, like for example, you have taken a picture, today you have taken a picture and you immediately upload it into some social media platform, right? So from that social media platform, I can download and I can find out, okay, which where this picture is taken, okay, what time is taken the picture, all that information I can do. So some information it goes without your knowledge, some information with your knowledge we were sharing. That is what it is happening. That is called active digital footprinting, right? So some information it goes without your knowledge, some information we are sharing knowingly, right? When we are sharing that image, I will in the afternoon session I will cover that, okay, what all information you can get it from an image, that information, that kind of thing I'll show it to you in the afternoon, right? But otherwise, if at all if you are sharing some kind of post, there is some kind of information always there in the picture or in the post kind of thing, okay? Be smart about sites you visit, what kind of sites you are visiting, what kind of emails you are opening, and what kind of links you are clicking. So like you don't think like every time these people are talking about link and all the things. So in this 4 hour session we were talking more on the preventive measures rather than the forensics area. So like what are the steps one should take care so that you can safeguard yourself in the digital world. So that entire session, all this 4 hour session is going to be, we are going to discuss only the preventive measures more than the forensics aspects, okay? So this is a digital footprint which everyone should know, and so that you can safeguard, like how can you avoid these kind of things, right? Always think long term before you post. See, for example, in a blackboard you can write and you can rub it, but in the internet world it is not the same case. If at all if you have written something, you cannot take it back. You can take it back physically, it will goes from your device, but not from the internet, okay? You keep your personal information private, all right? And use privacy settings on the social networking pages. We will discuss. Protect your privacy and the privacy of your friends also, right? For example, not only you, your friends list is also publicly available, right? Like we will be in trouble. At the same time, our friends or family members should not be in trouble. But if this information is publicly available, our family and friends are also in trouble, right? Have a time limit on time spent on social media. Because of this COVID-19, so more number of people are started using these electronic gadgets, and now they are facing a very big issue called digital detox. Most of the children and the students are, some of the elders are also addict to the digital technology, right? If at all if you are using continuous digital technology, there are some health hazards also which you have to be which you have to avoid such kind of health hazards to safeguard your health, okay? So have a time limit, and accordingly you can make use of the any of the social media, print or electronic media, any of those medias, okay? So data refers to your practices and safeguards the binding rules put in place to protect your personal information or your official information. What do you mean by personal data, right? Personal data, your name, surname, home address, all these things are examples of your data which you all know. When it comes to your professional life, lot of citizens data, colleagues data is available in some of the systems. For example, if you're an HR person, lot of data related to the employees is available in a system. So that you have to secure your system and you can safeguard the system so that the data will be there and you will be in safe, right? Otherwise, there are some chances people may exploit such kind of information, and which may lead to some kind of threat or some kind of threat or vulnerability. Right? These are the examples of personal data. Worth protecting those things. So what will happen if you lose some of your personal data? It may lead to financial loss, and sometimes it may also goes to reputational damage. Reputational damage is nothing but, for example, I got your photograph, okay, from some social media platform, and I also got your mobile number. By using those things, I can create a fake profile. I can send it to all your friends because your friend list is also publicly available. right? Your photos are available, your contact details are available, and your photo or your photograph with your friends all are available in social media platforms. Those kind of information I can collect and can start misusing those things. So that may lead to this kind of reputational damage. Sometimes loss of sensitive data, like whatever the data you are having, like your credit card, debit card data, sometimes it may lead to such kind of things also. For example, ID cards are there. You have to protect your ID card safely. Okay, you have to protect your data safely, otherwise it may lead to some kind of issues. Okay, identity theft, your identity card. Let me give you an example. I recently I went to one of the session to one of the police training program. I went there, like he was actually working with the police department. His ID card was misused by some people. Okay, his ID card was misused by some people. So by using his ID card, they have created a bank account, and they have taken a bike loan, and they have taken away the bike and all those things. Later part, this police officer, this is this CIS officer started receiving notices from the bank as well as from the bike owners and all. Okay, so that much dangers are involved. How he lost the data? So his children were studying in one school. That fraudster made a friendship with the children. He started collecting all the data, and some data is there. And then after getting some data, photographs, and all the things, so this fraudster he started blackmailing that child. That fraudster he started blackmailing that child. You bring this money, you bring this identity card details and all. If at all if you are not bringing, so we will, they have marked the images. They started blackmailing those things, right? So such kind of scenarios are happening. So this boy, he's taken that father's ID card, and he gave it to them, and they have done it. So that is how they are misusing. And for example, by using the identity card, we can also take SIM cards and all the things. If it is used for a better purpose, it's well and good. If it is fallen into your wrong hands, it may create some kind of issues. So you have to be very very careful with all your personal data. For example, you went to a shopping mall, and you have done this, and you are about to leave the shopping mall. Someone is approached you and says that, sir, like we were organizing the lucky draw, will you participate? Okay, immediately we will give our mobile number and email ID. We don't know like what purpose they are using. Do you know like who is that fellow is who is collecting your data? We never know, right? So we should not share any of your personal information with any unknown persons, which may lead to some kind of issues. Okay, so you have to be very very careful with whom you are sharing that kind of data and kind of thing, right? So this is identity theft. So identity theft, is often targeted by identity thieves, including the password, bank account information, credit card numbers, information stored on users' computer, mobile phones, such as contacts, videos, images, sensitive documents, etc. So all these things are very very important. If at all if you have lost something, it may be difficult actually. Okay, safeguard personal information, and you can protect your passwords, be credit cards and debit cards. Destroy or shut the receipts not required, and review your records regularly. Like if you are using credit card, debit card, you check them, like what kind of transactions are recording kind of thing. Be cautious with phishing links, and if you are getting any free links and all, so you have to be very careful. Monitor your online accounts regularly. Be careful with the public Wi-Fi. So we suggest you not to use public Wi-Fi. Public Wi-Fi, use it only for the browsing. Don't do any financial transactions. Use it for browsing, information sake. Don't do any financial transactions on any public Wi-Fi. Okay, that is our suggestion to all of you. Right, to safeguard yourself in the entire digital world, password plays a key role. Okay, the password. How do you set a password? Use different password for each service. Like which are the, if you are having more number of accounts, use different passwords for different accounts. Use a long and complex password. Don't use simple passwords. Change passwords regularly. How frequently you change your toothbrush? Similarly, you change your passwords also. Prefer randomization rather than a sequencing. Instead of 1 2 3, use 3 5 7 or 3 9 7 3 or whatever. Such kind of things you should use than the sequencing kind of thing. Don't use your passwords on a shared computer. Never ever store any of your passwords. Don't test your passwords. Where, some there are some websites there they may ask you to test your password kind of thing. You can don't type your original password, type similar password kind of thing, then you will come to know. Use passphrases rather than a thing. I will show you like what is a passphrase kind of thing. This is a passphrase, right? So never judge a book by its cover. So that was the sentence. That sentence became a password. NJ at the rate 66 exclamatory C. Okay, that is the password, right? So never judge a book will become a password, right? For example, if at all if you are using, please tell me how many of your passwords is containing your name, your spouse name, your children name, date of birth. Is any of your password is containing such information? Please say yes or no. Just for information sake only, not to check, right? All right. There are equal number of yeses and equal number of no's. People says like personal information like your name, your spouse name, children name, their date of birth kind of thing. So after listening this session, please change your passwords and ensure your password should not get any of your personal information. It should not have any of the personal information. It should be a different information where nothing is clubbed as part of it. Okay. So this is a password. For example, if you like any quotes, that things you can change it as a password. Or if you like songs, everyone likes the songs. So like take a few words of the song and convert as a password like this. Okay. I hope you all are able to understand like what do you mean by passphrase. So the passphrase is very very important. Okay. If you are all able to understand, please say yes. Okay, the password is very very important. Passphrase is very very important to keep a password. Okay, very good, thank you sir, so much mom and sir, right? So next thing is this multi-factor authentication, right? Thank you sir and mom. Let's come back to the session. Use multi-factor authentication. So for example, any online banking or any email kind of thing, immediately they will ask your username and password. Once you give that username and password, you may get a OTP or they may ask you thumb impression or something else. That is, after you provide that data, then only it will be logged on to. Okay, that is called a multi-factor authentication. So it is an additional layer of protection for your account. Okay, username and password is one, and if you enter the second level password, then it is called a multi-factor authentication. So here, like two times you are authenticating yourself in the like you heard about that CIA triad. Okay, confidentiality, integrity, and authenticity. Right here, you have to authenticate yourself. You have to authenticate yourself. Only that Satyanarayana ji is entering into it. How can we authenticate like only Satyanarayana ji is attending, or Vasudeva Rao sir is attending? So we have to say that like for example, Vasudeva Rao sir is accessing his account, then he will give you his username and a password. At the same time, he will be getting some secret code on his mobile that he is entering that secret code and he is logging into the thing. Like for example, we all lock your doors. One is main door, and on top of it, like you will be having another security door also. Okay, first lock, second lock, and third lock. So all those things you will be doing. Then it will say like you are only that particular person is attending, or the particular person is coming or going into the particular home, right? So this two-factor authentication is very very important. This two-factor authentication should be enabled on all your banking accounts, email accounts, and social media accounts. Where do you find this? So this two-factor authentication, you can find it in the social under the settings. One two-factor authentication. Afternoon I will explain you. Okay. Otherwise you can go to the settings and you can enable this multi-factor authentication. If at all, if you are already enabled this two-factor authentication, it is well and good. If at all, if you are not enabled, please find out how to enable the two multi-factor authentication and enable it, which is very, very important. Okay. So that's what I'm telling. Like, personal information in the password makes it a weak password. If the password is, for example, Satyanarayana at the rate 123 or Omkarji at the rate 123, I can guess the password easily. So that is a dangerous. So ensure that your password should not contain any of your personal information, any of your data of birth kind of thing, right? Never ever share your passwords with anyone. But your children passwords you should aware as an elder, as an adult, right? You should not share your password with anyone, right? Create a personalized pass pages as I shown you, right? For the for each one, and each account should have a different password. No password is to be repeated for all your accounts. Okay, so this is about this the password protection, right? This is about the passphrase, right? If you safeguard your things, you can safeguard all your bank accounts and all your email accounts and all your social media accounts and all, right? First thing is first level password, and second thing is multi-factor authentication. If you enable these two things, it will be beneficial to you so that you can safeguard yourself in the digital world. Hope the password concept is clear to all of you, right? Hope the password concept is clear to all of you. Please say yes or no. Then we will move to the browser security. Very good, Hemant Kulkarni ji, right? Anil Tomar sir, yes, yes. All right, thank you so much. We'll move on to the browser security. Why we are moving on to the browser security? If at all, if you want to access something, browser is important. So that is the reason, like we are talking more on the browser, right? So I'll show you one of the browser, like what kind of things you should take care and all. Let me take you to the browser directly rather than showing these things. Okay, I'm just showing any of our browser directly. Okay, so I just like you have seen, no, morning also it was discussed like you should have HTTPS. I just highlighted here. You can just see highlighted. The HTTPS is there, lock symbol is there, all these things. Okay, when you are uh, now is it visible, sir and ma'am? Now is it visible? Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much, sir. Yeah. Okay. So once you come into the browser, you can just see this browser. Then you will come to. I will show you some of these things. In the browser side, you come to the extreme right. Opera is also fine, sir. You come extreme side. Here are some three dots. So I'm just clicking on the three dots. You will be getting all these options. Right? New tab. You will be getting a new tab. New window. You will be opening a new window and new private window, which is very, very important. I'm just clicking in the new private window. You just see. So new private window, what will happen? Okay, in some of the browser it is called as a private window. In some of the browsers it is called as incognito window. Incognito, like no one knows like what you are doing, where you are, right? So that's the privacy. So this kind of browser, it will protect your privacy. I was not talking about the security. I'm just talking about only the privacy. Only the privacy. Privacy is also up to your system level. If at all, if you're browsing something in the private browsing or incognito mode, this information will not be stored on your system. This information will not be stored in the browser, but otherwise normally what are you browsing, all that information it is stored under the browser history. But if at all if you are doing in the private window browsing, this information won't be stored. This is a private window. That means no one can see like what you are browsing here. But at least in the browser, this data won't be available. But in the ISP level, like who is providing the internet to you, that guy can see like what you are doing. Okay, So what is a private browsing does? Okay, it deletes your browsing info when you close all in private windows. So it will immediately delete your browsing history, and it saves collections, favorites, and never in nothing but not be downloaded history. Right? Prevents Microsoft such as being accessed. Like if it all whatever search you are doing, that search also won't be stored. Right? This is the advantage. Whenever you are doing any financial transactions and all, try to do it in a private window. That is a safe practice. That is what people suggest. If at all if you are doing in a private window or incognito mode, that will benefit to you, so that at least such that information it won't be stored. That is the use of the use of this private window, right? Hope I'm clear. Let's go to the three dots. Private window you have seen where it is collections history. For example, if you click on the history, you can just see like what are the information, right? I have visited this website, General Tapes, ISEA, PMU, all these websites, I have seen these things. These are these things I have seen. So that means this entire information is stored in this browser, right? That is the history. And the downloads, what are the downloads you have done, and extensions are nothing but sometimes it will give you a some extra functionality to your browser, extra functionality to your browser. See, for example, you wanted to view a video, that video is not visible, so that time it will tell you that like you have to download this VLC video player. So that is an extension. That extension will be downloaded, and you can, so that you can see your video, right? Let's see like what are the extension. Okay, so these are the extensions I have in my system, right? Cisco WebEx. Morning, you might have been installed this extension to attend to function this WebEx, right? To attend this class, we have sent a WebEx link to you. It may not work directly. It will ask you to download its extension. Then only it will work. Okay, and there is another extension called Netcraft extension. What is this Netcraft extension will do? We'll see. Okay. Right, this Netcraft extension which will give you some kind of which will tell you like whether the website is correct or not. All the information it will give you it will tell you like whether the URL is correct or not. Whether it is a fake URL, it will tell you it is a fake URL. If it is a correct URL, it will tell you like whether it will give you some kind of information, like where it is hosted, it is a safe or not. All such kind of information you can see there, right? Let me show it to you. Okay, so no site information is available. This because we are in the browser extension. See, for example, I'll just type my website name here. Okay, infosecawareness.in is my website. I will just type in my website URL, and you can just see like what kind of thing it is showing, right? Okay, it is loading that information. अरे यार I think there is some issue with this extension. I don't know like why it is not working. Otherwise, this extension will give you a more information whether the website is correct website or a fake website kind of thing, right? And you will also get to know lot of information with respect to this extension, right? Otherwise, I can just download it and I can show it to you also if it is required. I'm just removing and I will try to install this extension again. Okay. Okay, that is not compatible. That is the reason it is showing. So it says like infosecawareness.in, which is the India website. And if you see, you can see the site report and which country, when it is hosted, what is the site ranking, where is it loaded, and the URL is correct or not. Top of the things, this blue color, you please check it. This blue color, if the blue color and tick is there, so that means the site is true site. If it is not the blue color, if it is a red color, then you should say like the site is not safe. Okay, that way like you should identify. So these kind of extension will help you to find out whether these extension will help you to find out whether these things are right or not. So and like that there are so many other extensions also. Only one suggestions which I am having to all of you is, if that extension is suggested by your browser only you should do. If the extension is supported by your browser, then only you do it. Otherwise, don't install such kind of extensions. There are so many extensions are there, but never ever install all such kind of extensions. If it is suggested by your browser, then only you can install. Otherwise, don't install. Okay, those things also I can show to you where and how those things. Okay, like that, like there are so many options. And finally, you will be having option called settings. In the settings, there are so many options are available. Your privacy, search and all. Like you have to we value our privacy. So you have to which one you want to go to, only basic or a balanced and strict. And if it is go just to a strict, it blocks the majority of trackers from all the sites. No site can track. No site can track you like what you are doing. Content and ads will be minimal, and it will filter some of these kind of things, right? Like that, there are so many options, and cookies and site permissions are very very important aspects. Manage and delete cookies, site data. So these cookies you have to remove once in a while. Otherwise, these cookies will give you information. What do you mean by a cookie? Cookie is a temporary memory. It will store your temporary memory. So, and it will be used once the session is over. That information will be deleted. When you are in the particular session, when you are in the particular browser, then it will store that information for a particular period of time. Later part, it will remove that cookies, right? So clear and exit thing. So clear browsing data and close, right? Clear browsing data. So all these things are available. So you can just see and try to remove all your cookies and the history and all the things by once in a week's time or once in a 10 days kind of thing, right? See all cookies and site data. So like what are the cookies it is storing, you can just see all this data. Okay, so all these things are today's data only. Like what are the websites I have visited, all that information it is storing. 1 KB 1 cookie. I don't know like what this cookie is doing, right? These are the cookies like which are done today, and all these things. So it is advisable to remove these cookies once in a while, right? On a regular intervals. If you can remove that, that will be a good thing. And history. Okay, browsing history, right? This browsing history you should remove very frequently. Okay, here you have all the things. So for example, here share browsing data with other Windows features, right? So clear browsing data, manage your data. If you choose that, it will be deleted everything, right? I'm just showing everything on the browser itself so that you can understand and you can remove all these cookies, browsing history and all the things. Okay, so once in a while you should see all these options and history. Like if it is I have not chosen to store any history, so that means history will be stored. If you have chosen like this, no history will be stored, right? And all these options are available. You can just see like which are favorable to you and which are not required, then you can remove all those things. Okay, so these are the some things where you should understand and try to use those browsing history and try to remove that browsing history and all, so that you can safeguard yourself, right? Private window is important, you can just see that, and accordingly remaining things also you can just see, like the browsing history should be removed on frequent basis, and cookies also should be removed on frequent basis, kind of thing, right? So these are the things in the Chrome also, similar kind of things, right? There is an extension in the browser, HTTPS everywhere. So this extension will help you, to establish a secure connection between your browser and the server. And I'll just show you the netcraft, whether the site is true or not. So such kind of information you can find out. And add block plus. So this is another extension. It will stop all the extensions so that you need not to worry. All those things will be removed. Or like it won't be the pop-ups. It won't come out. The pop-ups, it won't appear when you are browsing the when you are browsing and searching kind of thing in the browser. And Sudan is another search engine which will help you to find out the exact and right information, right? So that you can secure and you can safeguard your data, kind of thing, right? So these are some of the browsers where you can use those things, right? So when it comes to the mobiles, so it will taking so many number of permissions and all. So what you have to do, you have to go to the mobile application, go to the permission. Once the mobile application usage is over, you have to disable all the permissions. You have to disable all the permissions. You have to disable all the permissions. By default, all the permissions are available. So the permissions you have to remove and you have to disable all the permissions. So for example, you will be having a, I allowed these things, I denied some of these permissions. So in the same way, so these options are available now. Any permission, allow all the time, allow only while using the app, or deny. Which option will you choose? 1, 2, 3. Which option will you choose? Please type it out in the chat area. Which option will you choose? Option 1 or option 2 or option 3? Right. If you choose option 3, what will happen? Many of them are telling like option 2. I will choose option 3 only. I will choose only option 3 only, because you may be having some hundreds of mobile applications on your mobile phone. Right? How many you are using? Hardly you are using some 4 to 5 mobile applications in a day. But what will happen? Remaining all days, all the mobile application, it's just, they're observing, they're reading your data. To stop that, you have to deny. If you deny the permission, no problem. Whenever you are opening the tab, it will give you a notification, this option is disabled. You enable this option and make use of it. That notification you will get it enabled. Once the usage is over, deny that, right? These things you have to do it on a regular intervals, and ensure that the SMS location and all should be disabled, right? So whenever you are accessing any mobile application, you should make use of it. The Google, if at all if you are using Android mobile phone, all right, in the Play Store there is an option. For example, I have opened my Play Store. I'm just showing my Play Store, and there is an option called, so these are the available options. There is something called Play Protect, right? Are you able to see that Play Protect? So click on that Play Protect. Click on that Play Protect. It will show you how many apps are there, and there is something called scan. If you scan that thing, and it will tell you like how many mobile applications are there. Is there any vulnerabilities? It will tell you. And if there are no vulnerabilities, it will tell you no harmful apps were found. No harmful apps were found. So this kind of scanning, you have to do it every once in 2 to 3 days kind of thing, so that you can secure your information, right? You can secure your mobile phones. If there are any vulnerabilities, it will tell you. Otherwise, no problem. Okay, so this way you can just see that. And whenever you are downloading any mobile application, it should be Google Protect, Play Protect only. That app should be Play Protect only. That app should be a Play Protect only. That app should be Play Protect. If the app is Play Protect, then only you download. Otherwise, don't download. And what are the mobile applications are there? Use the Google Protect and try to scan those applications. Then you will come to know whether these apps are genuine apps or not. Okay, so those things you should follow, so that you can safeguard your mobile phone. On top of all those things, you also can safeguard your hard-earned money, right? So those are the things with respect to the session. I think there are so many questions which are coming out, and let me answer those questions. Is there any alternative to access online banking, please? Yes, sir. That's what, like, one is website. You can check these things. You can access it. Otherwise, use mobile phone, and whatever you are using, ensure that you should have a antivirus on your respective system. You should have a antivirus on your respective system. Okay. Is it safe to close the website without logging out? No, it is not at all safe. Whenever you are closing your website, ensure that you are logged out completely, and after that you close itself. And how digital sign certificates, I think that part I discussed. I'm unable to see other participants. No, okay. I will enable it in the afternoon, sir. I was nominated officer batch. Okay. Right. I think all your responses are there. If you have any queries, keep it in the chat area, so that we'll try to respond before we conclude the morning session. And again, we will do afternoon thing. There are so many things. Okay, not deleted. Very good. We should really thank all the officers who are actively participated and giving a number of options for every question. How to find mobile app is a Play Protect before we download. Yes, sir, that's a good question, wonderful question. So when you are downloading any mobile application, if at all, if you are went to that Google Play Store, there it will tell you whether the mobile app is Play Protect or not. You have to check whether the mobile app is Play Protect or not. When you are installing itself, it will tell you that app is protected by Google Protect. If it is there, then you install. Otherwise, never go for any installation, right? It will tell you before installing only. Sir, please place the presentation. Yes, sir. While browsing in Opera browser, some of the unknown applications downloading in my PC. Will it harm? Yes, sir. It will harm. Definitely, it will harm. So whenever you are downloading any software, it will tell you like you download the extensions and all the things. So during that time, you have to tell them very clearly, you our download only this software, no applications. In the same way, when you are downloading any browser, you download only the browser. No application should be downloaded. No other application should be downloaded. Otherwise, it may be a problem. It may create some kind of problem. Does updates of mobile phone slow down? Never, never, never. Actually, it will increase the performance of your mobile phone. If there are any older version, it will remove, and it will increase your mobile phone performance. If at all, if the performance is coming down, then you should suspect there is something wrong with your device. There may be some malware or a virus or Trojan kind of thing. So better to have a good antivirus on your mobile phone to protect your device. Better to have very good antivirus on your device, so that it will take care of you. I said, would you we allow or not allow to Google and Gmail with permissions in our mobile? Sir, you can allow by setting all the settings and privacy settings on your mobile device. After disabling some permissions, not able to access the software. How to access software? Very good. So if at all, if you are disabling that permission, it will be disabled only for that particular period of time. So whenever you are using that mobile application again, it will ask you to enable this permission, so that you have to enable, then only it will work. Till that time it won't work. Okay, so you have to enable, disable as per your requirement, whether the software or permissions or whatever it is. Hands-on and helpful session. Thank you. While browsing the Opera, I told you, Nasir, that have some kind of issues, so you have to be very careful. So this second session I am going to close here. I hope this both the sessions are might have been helpful to you in understanding like what is internet and information security, browsing, data, and mobile aspects kind of thing. So hopefully these sessions are helpful to you, and you might have been learned or picked up some of these aspects, right? Okay, so we are going to conclude this session here, and our next session will start exactly by 2:30. Our next session will start exactly by 2:30. So I request all the members, please come back by 2:15 and join the session. I am not going to close this platform. It will remains there. If at all, if you want to stay back, you can stay back, or if you want to rejoin, again you can rejoin also. There are no issues at all. Okay, so I thank you. I thank all of you for your active participation, and we will again come back at 2:30, and we will start that social engineering attacks with live demonstrations, with lot of live demonstrations. Okay, so that you will get benefit out of it. For example, you have given your username and password, how the fraudster is able to see those kind of things. We are going to show it to you. So I request all of you, please have your lunch, finish your work, and join back by 2:15. If you want to stay back, you can stay back, or if you want to leave and want to rejoin, you can rejoin also. All right, thank you, and have a good lunch and come back. Okay, thank you, and we will conclude this session here, and next session start at 2:30, and request all of you come back by 2:15. Thank you.